Aloha, this is another informative video that I've created to showcase the Big Slick family of table card games. And what you're seeing here is a display of the playing card imagery used by an app to enable people to play the card game. And the app is a web app. It was written in HTML5, JavaScript, and Cascading Style Sheets. And then I was very fortunate to be able to get Adobe PhoneGap Build to package that HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript web application into a form that could be then loaded onto Android mobile devices. And so now the app is available in the Google Play Store, and it's under the name Big Slick, and there's a trademark sign next to it. You can look for that, or you can just look for Big Slick card game. It'll come up. So the Big Slick game is very easy to understand, really. It's a target numerical sum game, very similar to the blackjack family of table card games. The card games belonging to the Big Slick family of table card games are target numerical sum games. In this case, the target is 27. And the game is named after the Big Slick hand. So a Big Slick hand in poker is a hand consisting of an ace and a king. So now, in a card game belonging to the Big Slick family of table card games, an ace and a king has a value of 27. The ace has a value of either 1 or 14, whatever makes for a hand total that's closer to 27 without going over. And the king counts as 13, so 13 plus 14 is 27. Queens count as 12, jacks count as 11, and all the other cards count as their point value according to the ranks shown on the cards. Jokers count as 0 or any number of points required to make a hand total of 27. It all depends on what the specific set of card game rules are for each of the games. So now this is what's called an Anglo-American style deck of cards. There's 13 ranks of each of 4 French suits and 2 jokers for a total of 54 cards. And since 27 is 1/2 of 54, and 54 is 2 times 27, it seems like a reasonably good idea to make 54 the standard deck composition for a card game belonging to the Big Slick family of table card games. However, other deck compositions, including those that don't include jokers, those that maybe have maybe don't include certain other cards, are possible. But we're going to say the standard deck composition is 54 card deck consisting of 13 ranks of each of 4 French suits and 2 jokers. So now what you see down here at the bottom are buttons in the web application that enable the user, the player, to select a game. And so now there's 4 different games that are provided. There's a poker-like game, a blackjack-like game, and a baccarat-like game, and a no-bust game. So in this video I'm going to talk about the poker-like game, and then I'll get to the other ones in other videos. So now the poker-like game is very easy to understand if you understand the hierarchy of hand values. So I created a keynote presentation showing you what the hierarchy of hand values are from highest to lowest. And as you can see, there's basically only 8 different possibilities for types of hands that you might get in the game. So the player can make a 27 from 2 cards. That's the highest value card hand. That is a big slick hand, a player's big slick hand. After that comes the dealer 27 made from 2 cards, the dealer's big slick hand. Player 27 made from 3 or more cards. Dealer 27 made from 3 or more cards. Now I should mention that in the blackjack-like game, the joker counts, that in the poker-like game, I should mention that in the poker-like big slick card game, jokers count as 0. But they have a special function, and it has to do with this next category down here. The 26 or less made from 5 cards. Now if you have the player or the dealer makes a hand of 26 or less made from 5 cards, that's considered what's called a qualifying 5-card poker hand. Okay, so it's no longer treated as a hand with a numerical value. It's now a poker hand, and it will outrank every other hand that is counted as a hand with a numerical value, except for hands that have a numerical value of 27. So now, if both the player and the dealer have a qualifying 5-card poker hand, then the dealer determines the outcome of the game by comparing the hands to a predetermined hierarchy of 5-card poker hands. The hand with the highest rank wins, and ties are a stalemate. So this is the element of the game that's poker-like. You're actually making a comparison. There's pattern recognition going on there. You're looking for patterns in the cards that have been dealt, the 5 cards that have been dealt, looking for a poker hand. And then if both the dealer and the player have one of these hands at the same time, these qualifying 5-card poker hands, then they're evaluated as poker hands. But let's say that the dealer has 26 or less made from 4 or fewer cards, and the player has 26 or less made from 5 cards. The player has a qualifying 5-card poker hand, and the dealer does not. Then the dealer loses, unless the dealer makes 27. Okay? So now, after hands of 26 or less made from 5 cards, there are hands of 26 or less made from 4 or fewer cards. Now these hands have a numerical value and are not evaluated as poker hands. If both the player's hand and the dealer's hand are hands of 26 or less made from 4 or fewer cards, then the dealer determines the outcome of the game by comparing hands to a target numerical sum of 27. And the hand closest to 27 without going over wins, and ties are a stalemate. So basically what we're doing is we're taking cards and we're adding up the values that are given to each of the cards, and that's how we're attaining a hand value. Now there's something important to mention here, and that is the fact that the ace can be both a 1 or a 14. Ace counts as either 1 or 14. If it counts as 14, then it's considered a high ace. If it counts as 1, then it's called a low ace. This doesn't have anything to do with qualifying 5-card poker hands, however. The whole thing has to do with calculating numerical values. So how do you know if an ace has a value of 14? It's basically if it can be counted as 14 without going over 27, then it counts as 14. Otherwise, it counts as 1. So if you have a hand that includes a high ace, you have what's called a soft hand. If you have a hand that includes a low ace or no aces or no high ace, then you have what's called a... No, if you have a hand that includes no high ace, does not include a high ace, if you have a hand that does not include a high ace, then you have what's called a hard hand. Now, soft hands have soft totals and hard hands have hard totals. It's something to keep in mind in calculating the totals for hands. As I said, what we're doing here is we're adding up point values on cards. But if we get 5 cards with a value of 26 or less, it becomes a poker hand and a poker game if both player and the dealer make a qualifying 5-card poker hand. So now, after 26 or less made from 4 or fewer cards, we have dealer 28 made from 3 or more cards. And then finally, player 28 made from 3 or more cards. So what this means is the dealer 28 or more always has a higher value than the player 28 or more. Meaning that if the player goes over 28, they lost. Conversely, the player 27 always has a higher value than the dealer 27. For that reason, if the player makes 27, the player has won the game. And since the player gets to go first, the player gets the first opportunity to attempt to make 27. So that somewhat offsets the benefit derived by the dealer from the fact that the player busts. The player loses whenever the player goes to 28 or more. Whenever the player's hand total goes to 28 or more. It somewhat offsets it, but there are also other bonuses, which we'll talk about in a moment. So we can see that there's really only 2 times when hands are compared. Otherwise, well, they're always compared in terms of these categories, but there's only 2 categories wherein it's possible for both players to have the same hand and for a comparison to be made of those hands. And that's this category here, the 5th category, and the 6th category. Category of qualifying 5-card poker hands, and the category of hands with numerical values of 26 or less, made from 4 or fewer cards. So keeping that in mind, this is so once you understand this hierarchy of hand values, it's very easy to understand what's going on in the game. So therefore, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and start the game. So now, what we have here in the middle of the table is a restatement of some of the rules for the game. Here's some bonuses that are being paid out, and here's some rules for the play of the dealer's hand. You don't have to really worry about these. It's all going to be handled automatically by the web application. But, you know, if you are interested, you can take a look at those. And what this basically means is, to very briefly, these are 3 different strategies that the dealer uses for each of 2-card hands, 3-card hands, and 4-card hands. Okay, so on each of these strategies states that the dealer will stand on a certain target value, or if the dealer goes over that target value, they will also stand. And otherwise, the dealer will hit. And it's understood that if they attain a hand of 5 cards, then with a numerical some value of less than what this target is, they're also going to stand in that case as well. Everybody has to stand on 5 cards, no matter what. So that's one of the advantages of the game is, since everybody has to stand on 5 cards, less cards are dealt. You're not going to end up with hands that have very, very large number of cards dealt into them, like sometimes happens in blackjack and other big slick games. In this game, you're only going to have 5 cards in a maximum. Okay, so here's a restatement of the hierarchy of hand values from high to low. Player 2-card 27, dealer 2-card 27, player 27, dealer 27, qualifying 5-card poker hands, hand totals of 26 or less, dealer hand totals of 28 or more, player hand totals of 28 or more. So same thing as we saw over here, basically. And then down here are the bonus payouts. Big Slick pays 2 to 1. 8, 9, 10 pays 3 to 1. 9, 9, 9 pays 3 to 1. 5-card 27 pays 3 to 1. Insurance pays 10 to 1. And jokers are wild. What does that mean? That means that if a joker is if a qualifying 5-card poker hand includes a joker, then the joker is wild according to what's called the bug rule. The bug rule states that joker can be used to represent an ace, complete a straight, complete a flush, or complete a straight flush, and it will do that according to assuming a wild card value. So it can either represent an ace, complete a straight, complete a flush, or complete a straight flush, whatever is better for the value of the hand. And so now insurance, we're going to get to that very quickly. This game is dealt very much like blackjack. So you can see 2 initial cards are dealt face up to the player, and a initial card is dealt face up to the dealer's hand, and 1 is dealt face down. Now you may have noticed that another card popped out without me doing anything, without the computer-controlled dealer consulting with me. And that's because of something called forced moves. In this game, you can only hit or stand, and that's it. There's no doubling or splitting or surrendering. It's just hit or stand. And therefore, if you have less than 15, hard 15, meaning a hand that does not include a high ace, like this hand right here, that's hard 13 right here, it's less than 15. There's no way that you're going to bust by taking another card. Therefore, the rules require the player to take an additional card. And for that reason, you can see here that the computer-controlled dealer dealt an additional card to the player's hand. So now the player has 20. Dealer is showing a 9. I'm going to let you in on a little secret about 9. 9s are not really a great card for the dealer to have in their hand. There's no real way that they're going to make a 2-card hand that they're going to stand on. The dealer is definitely going to have to take at least 1 additional card. And this 9 value card is taking up a lot of space in the available 26 or less, total area that would be required for a qualifying 5-card poker hand to be made. So I'm not worried about the dealer making a qualified 5-card poker hand here. I'm going to stand, and you can see the dealer busted. So the dealer started with 17. A queen was added to that for a total of 29. Pretty self-explanatory. So let's keep going. Okay, so that hand basically played itself because of, again, forced moves. The beginning value of the initial hand was worth 10. Then the computer-controlled player dealt an additional card to the player's hand for a total of 14. And that's still not enough to, create a hand where the dealer has to consult with the player for a decision on how to play the player's hand. So therefore, the dealer dealt an additional card to the player's hand, and we finish with a 27. And in 27, there's no way that the dealer can catch up. Player 27 made from 3 or more cards is always going to outrank a dealer 27 made from 3 or more cards. For that reason, the game's over. The game is over. And the player has won. And so that's what's nice about the 27. The player 27, it ends the game for you quickly. Okay, so now we have a 20 and a 3 showing, and I'm going to hit. All right. So I don't recommend using basic strategy in this game, because all basic strategy really does is it teaches you how to lose money over time. Because if you follow basic strategy, what's basic strategy, first of all? Basic strategy is the best strategy for the play of the player's hand in the long run with strictly average luck, right? So you're just using mathematics to figure out what is the best possible move in every potential scenario that could come up for a dealer's initial hand and a player's initial hand. All right. So it just teaches you how to lose. The best thing to do with this game, in my opinion, is just to test your own ability to predict the outcome of future events. If you're good at doing that, if you've got some kind of belief in your psychic abilities, and you can actually predict the outcome of future events, you could make a lot of money. So now, but I'm going to show you the basic strategy is, here's the game rules. If I click on that button, game rules, there's hide the game rules, show the game rules. Okay, so now I'm showing the game rules, and it tells you basically everything that you need to know about how the game is played. And here is the house edge. So now it says that the game played with this particular set of rules gives the house an edge of as little as 1.4%. That is true in the long run if the player uses the playing strategy described below to make decisions on how to play the player's hand. And the player strategy described below is the basic strategy for this poker-like big slick card game. The basic strategy is the strategy for the play of the player's hand that loses the least amount of money to the house in the long term with strictly average luck. So we're not thinking of the possibility that maybe we can predict the outcome of future events and thereby turn the game odds of the game into our own favor that way. We're thinking in terms of, no, you can't do that. The best thing to do is just to try to play the strategy that loses the least amount of money to the house in the long term with strictly average luck. So if you want to know what that is, that's down here. You can take a look at it. It's included. I explain it, what it is. Essentially what you're going to find out is the more cards you have in your hand, it makes more sense to just keep drawing more cards. So let's deal. Okay, so now it's asking about insurance, and the insurance is against the dealer having a big slick, ace and a king. And again, it pays off 10 to 1. The amount of the insurance side bet is 1/2 of the game wager. The game wager right here is 10 credits, and we started with 1,000 credits. And in the bet box, there is 10 credits. What does that mean that it's in the bet box? It means that when we press the deal button, the bet box tells me how much of a wager we made, because the computer-controlled dealer does not deal until you place a game wager. But we've compressed that whole step down to one thing, which is just pressing the deal button. And you set you can set the bet here, but I'm not going to do that right now because we're in the middle of a hand. Okay, so I'm going to say yes to buying insurance, and the dealer does not have big slick. I lose $5. So now if you look down here where it says credits, you're going to see 5 credits go away from the bankroll. And there we go. And now some forced moves happened, and now we have 15. So we have a very good chance of making a qualifying 5-card poker hand here. And we did. And what we have here is a pair of aces, because the joker is having a wild card value when it's included within a qualifying 5-card poker hand. And we have the best thing to do with the joker is to count it as an ace here. And so we have a pair of aces, and the dealer made a hand total of 26 or less from 4 or fewer cards, which is a hand with a numerical value of 25. And so the poker hand beats the hand with a numerical value. So now we got 21. I'm going to stand. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Okay. I would have won the game maybe if I'd taken another card. Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Okay, now we have a chance of making a bonus. The 8, 9, 10 hand pays 3 to 1, so any 10 is going to give us a bonus. Okay, we did not get the bonus, as you can plainly see. I'm going to stand. Oh, all right. Okay, there's another hand that played itself because of forced moves. And the player made a 27, which means the player has won the game. Oh man, that was lucky for the dealer. And there's a big slick. Came up for me. And you can see in the bet box is now 30 credits. So the bet was 10. So when the player wins, the dealer returns the bet to the player and adds to that bet amount the payout. The payout is 2 to 1, so the player has 30 credits in the bet box. All right, 21, and the dealer's showing a queen. Okay, that time we did better. Okay, we're on a nice winning streak. Okay, so I'm going to buy insurance again, and the dealer does not have big slick. I'm going to lose another $5 that's going to disappear from my credits, because that's half of the value of the game wager. Okay, I tried to make a qualifying 5-card poker hand, didn't happen. Okay, another chance for a bonus payout. Didn't get it. Okay. Most of the time you're not going to get the bonus payout. Okay, you may have noticed something interesting happened here. The dealer dealt to the player an initial hand of a 9 and a 5, which that gave a total of 14 to the player's hand, and that's not high enough for the dealer to have to consult with the player for a decision on how to play the player's hand, so therefore the player was required to take an additional card, and the player drew a jack. And that gave the player a total of 25. It's hard 25 because there's no high ace included in the hand. So whenever the player has a total of hard 25 or more, then the player has to stand. Whenever the player has a total of soft 27, the player has to stand. So those are additional forced moves. So there was a forced move where the player had to take a card, and then there was a forced move that required the player to stand. So the hand played itself. And this is all designed to reduce the amount of consulting that has to occur between the player and the dealer. Because there gets to be concentration fatigue. You don't want that to set in for the players. You want this to be a fast-paced game. All right. Alright, so here the player made a pair of 3s. Here the dealer busted. So this is not a qualifying 5-card poker hand. It does not qualify because the dealer went over 26. If the dealer had made received a 7 here on the end, the dealer would have made a 27. If the dealer had gotten a 6 or less on the end, then the dealer would have made a qualifying 5-card poker hand. Now you might notice there's 2 6 of spades here. This is not a mistake. This game is being played with 6 decks of cards. And the computer-controlled dealer reshuffles after 4.5 decks have been played. And that usually occurs around round number 38. So this is the round number up here. So let's keep going. All right, so I have a 17 and 19 and a pair, 2 pair. So here's a comparison between qualifying 5-card poker hands. The player made a 2 pair, and the dealer made high card. And so the player wins, because this is a higher ranking hand as a poker hand than this one. And that's according to the predetermined hierarchy of 5-card poker hands. And you can read all about that and with the looking at the game rules. So now let's continue onward. Another pair. Okay, I'm going to raise the bet because I think I'm on a winning streak here. This is like amazing. Okay, so we won that one again. Pair of threes. Okay. This is an ace now. There's no other way to use it. It can't be used to complete a straight. The joker can't be used to complete a straight. It can't be used to complete a flush. It can't be used to complete a straight flush. So it's an ace. Dealer has high card, an ace high. And the player has made a pair of threes, so the player wins. But it's again, it's another comparison of qualifying 5-card poker hands. Okay, 18, and the dealer has an 8 showing. Oh, well, I would have lost either way. Okay, let's go back down to 10, I guess. So that's basically how the game works. I'll just go ahead and keep playing for a while. You can watch if you want to. Or you can head on over to Google Play and pick up the game app and download it and install it on your Android mobile devices. All right. Apologize for the wind noise, I mean fan noise. It's hot here. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii. So I have fans on right now, blowing on me and keeping me cool. That was very lucky right there, that we got this queen on the river. Because the dealer only had 16 here. Any hand with a value of less than 12, any card with a value of less than 12 would have given the dealer a qualifying 5-card poker hand. So we got very lucky right there. And I don't know if I should try it again or not. Okay. Yes. Okay, this is very interesting. Pair of aces. Dealer made a pair of aces with a 4-3-2 kicker, and I made a pair of aces with a 10-9-5 kicker, and so the player wins the game. Player has a higher ranking hand, player wins the game. So again, another comparison of qualifying 5-card poker hands. And by the way, this one here includes a high ace, and this one here does not include a high ace. So this is a soft total of 24 and a hard total of 26. And the way I know that is simply we have 24 right here, just with the 10, 9, and 5, and therefore there's no way that we're going to be able to count this as anything other than a 1 without going over 27. But here we have just 10, so we can count this as a 14. Okay, so there we go. Nice. Okay, we made a flush. This is beautiful. Wow. Amazing winning streak. Alright, so now we hit a bonus. Bonuses for 8, 9, 10 mixed suits. And the total amount of the bonus is 3-to-1 payout on the game wager. So in the bet box we have 40 was the initial bet. So that 40 is still in there, plus an additional 3-to-1 payout on the game wager for a total of 160 in the bet box. Again, we started with 40, so the net gain is 120 or 3 times the game wager. So that's great. So we're up to 1,240 credits. Let's keep going. I got 24, hard 24. I'm going to have to stand on that. Okay. Uh-oh. Alright, so we'll go back down to 10. Maybe my luck is running out or something. Oops. Oh no, I should have stayed. Alright. 6, oh no. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to take insurance, and the dealer does not have a big slick. Hit. Okay, I made it 27. Yay. Third highest kind of hand, I guess, or you could say category of hand, maybe, on the table of the hierarchy of hand values is third highest, right? Okay, so we got 18. The dealer's throwing a 12, but the hand's value is indeterminate, which is why this is blank. And we have a 22. All right, there we go. Another win. Wow, this is amazing. I wonder how long this is going to hold up. Amazing winning streak. Try for it. No. Okay, I lost that one. Okay, well, I just lost 3 in a row, so maybe I better go back to this strategy here. Alright, dealer does not have a Finnish 20, a big slick, I'm sorry. The dealer does not have a big slick. Oh! One card that could bust me right there. King. So what I think I'm going to do is just play 100 hands. So it'll give you a good idea of what's possible in the game. Okay, and a couple of easy wins. Okay. All right. 4 card 23. Hard 23. I decided that I'm going to hit that. Why? because a 5 card 27 pays out 3-1 on the game wager. That's why. It pays out 3-1 on the game wager. And so that kind of compensates for the fact that if I get anything higher than a 4, I'm going to be out of the game here. That and the fact that a 3 is going to give me a qualifying 5 card poker hand, a 2 and an ace is going to would give me 3 of a kind, and another joker would give me 3 of a kind. Ace would actually give me a straight. Yeah, ace would give me a straight. So those are all very strong hands, and 23 isn't that strong. And it's a good thing I hit it because the dealer had a 2 and a 3, and that it looks like the dealer was on the dealer's way to making a qualifying 5 card poker hand if I didn't hit this 23. So I'm very pleased to have made a 5 card 27 and gotten the bonus payout. So now people can use this app to do actual gambling. You know, they just need to agree upon the fact that the credits have some kind of value, and then one person plays the dealer and the other one plays the player. So I don't know how people are going to be using this app. They might use it that way. It'd be interesting, I think certainly this could be made into a game that would, could be a computerized game in a casino. Okay, so now we have 20, and if we get a 5, we're going to have a straight. Well, we didn't. All right. I don't know, it always makes me smile when I get a 27. I don't know why. Oops, what did I do that for? I actually didn't mean to do that. Oh well, it didn't help anyways. Okay, so I'm going through a losing streak now. I should mention that the initial hand was an ace and a 3. That's a soft 17. That's considered to be too low for the dealer to have to consult with the player for a decision on how to play the player's hand. But with 3 cards and a value of soft 24, then the dealer decides, okay, that's high enough, that you might want to stand, and then the dealer consults with the player on a decision on how to play that hand, which I decided to hit, and now we have the king that's been added to it, and that brings us to where we are right now, whether I want to stand or hit. I'm going to stand. Okay. Going to stand. So now it's the dealer's turn to get 27s, it looks like. Okay, we're catching back up again. And let's see what we get. So there's what happens when the dealer makes a big slick. And as you can see in the bet box, nothing there anymore. That means that the dealer basically took what the player put into the bet box and they collected it because the dealer won. Okay, so let's push deal again, and now you can see again the bet box has 10 credits in it because the bet is 10 credits. And we hit, and I'm going to stand. Huh. Wow. So the dealer would have made a flush hand if I didn't take this 5 away. But I did, and so the dealer busted. Alright, so moving on. Yeah. If I'd taken that 4, I would have had 27. Too bad. Okay, a couple of forced moves, and now we have 17. Oh. And hit. Okay, see? This is what can happen. You can get into long losing streaks. Okay, this is pretty easy to understand. Player made a qualifying 5-card poker hand with the rank of a pair of 4s with a 9-3-2 kicker, and the dealer made a qualifying 5-card poker hand with the value of a pair of aces with a 9-8-7-3 kicker, and so the dealer's hand outranks the player's hand, and so the dealer wins the game. Okay. So we did get pretty lucky in the beginning here. And now it looks like dealer's on a roll. Still up 100. Oh, that was lucky. Pair of aces is a very strong hand for the dealer to start with, because there's a high probability that the dealer is going to make a qualifying 5-card poker hand. However, what ended up happening was a very high value card came out, king with a value of 13. That drastically reduced the chances of the player making a qualifying 5-card poker hand, and then the 8 came up, giving the dealer a total of 23, and that wasn't enough to equal or surpass the player's 24, so the player won the game. So looks like things are turning around, maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead and go up to 40. See if we can take advantage of a winning streak. Okay, this is beautiful. We got 3 of a kind. All right. Let me just stand. This is a tough choice here. I don't know. I'll just stand, I think. Yep. Alright, we're on a really good winning streak now. This is amazing. This is very unusual for that to happen. Okay, okay, look what happened here. We have a qualifying 5-card poker hand, high card, but the dealer made 27. And as we can see in this table, a dealer 27 made from 3 or more cards has a higher rank than a hand of 26 or less made from 5 cards. So the dealer wins the game. So you see, it's very easy, a very easy game to understand once you understand the hierarchy of high hand values. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to go back down to 10 again because we're getting to a losing streak, it looks like. Oh, well, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Stand. Oh, I could have made a qualifying 5-card poker hand. Oh well. Well, that makes me feel better about it now. Okay, so the dealer made a pair of aces here, and then a three of a kind. 3 aces. Player made a pair, and this is another example of a comparison of 2 qualifying 5-card poker hands. And the dealer wins because the dealer's hand has a higher rank according to the predetermined hierarchy of 5-card poker hands that both hands are compared to. Okay, 16 and 3 cards, 19 and 4 cards, bust. Okay, we're almost to the end of this video here. Huh. Should I stop? Should I go? Should I? We'll just stand. Huh. And there it is. So we ended up being 220 credits up after playing 100 hands. And I was talking throughout it, so you really can't get a sense of how fast this game goes when you're just playing the game without attempting to explain it. Because it could go much faster than that. You can get 100 hands played in a much faster span of time. I might do a video like that, but this was a video done for the purposes of explaining the poker-like big slick card game to people. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, and if you like these kinds of videos and like hearing about new card games and things that are creative in the world of gambling and casino card games, then subscribe to this channel, and I will be posting more videos in the future. Again, thank you for being the wonderful person that you are, and have a great day.